Hello, welcome to Nerdy Folks Podcast, where conversations about nerdy things inspire greater faith in Jesus. My name is Matthew Seipel Anderson, and I am joined by the one, the only, the brave, the bold, the beautiful...
Oh, Katie Seipel Anderson. That was a really intense introduction. Awesome.
You know, you're just so inspirational to me.
Well, thank you. It's been a while. I'm excited to be a part of this podcast today.
And we are talking about Spider Noir.
Which is hard to say. It's my biggest complaint about it.
Noir. Yeah, noir.
Noir.
Noir. It sounds like a cologne. Like
I can see that. Yep, I can see that. I think there is like a Dior or something for fragrance, So
we finally finished Spider-Man Noir. We've been talking about it throughout the week.
So we did this is just, Matt asked me, he's like, okay, shotgun some adjectives. The first ones that come to mind when you think of the Spider-Man. And so we both kind of popcorned different adjectives.
Dark, cynical, realistic, crusty, dark aura, no youthful presence, different cadence or pacing, dialogue. I'm just reading what's on the page. I think
dialogue? I hope so.
Interesting, yeah. There was talking in the movie. Interesting dialogue, grainy, like a grainy coloration. And going along with that, not shiny or super colorful like the other Marvel Spider-Man stuff. Angsty or regretful. And finally, cynical. So that was our list. So definitely a different vibe going on in Spider-Man Noir than in any of the Tom Holland Spider-Man shows. It
really did, actually. I know they were going for this, but it really did remind me of an older movie, like a movie that was filmed a long time ago, like in the 50s or 60s or something, even with the pacing and the cadence. And of course, the black and white versus the color. Both of those just had an older, grainier feel, which was really fun.
I completely agree. And as we go through our conversation, I've got some things pulled up. So we'll be looking at some comments made by people like on X and Rotten Tomatoes and just online. And some people really didn't like some of the aspects of Spider Noir that I actually really did like. A few people online have actually pointed out that Nicolas Cage's accent changed at times.
Oh, it did.
It didn't really bother me. I didn't really notice it.
But I didn't notice it.
But you think it did?
I think it did. Now thinking back, I think it did.
Something that I learned just researching the show is that they shot the whole thing in black and white, and then the studios were like, oh no, we want it color. So they had to reshoot almost the whole thing.
Oh, interesting.
So it could be partially due to having to reshoot it and maybe mixing and matching things from previous time periods, maybe.
Yeah. Interesting.
You get kind of out of the flow.
I will say I enjoyed both the black and white and the color, and I had a hard time choosing which one I wanted to watch it in. And I watched a couple episodes in each.
Agreed. Yeah, well, we watched together.
We did. So I should say we watched a couple episodes of each.
Here's one comment, one negative comment. I quit 3 episodes in. Most of the cast was pretty bad and the dialogue was awful. Wrong accents, wrong tone. Everything was off.
Well, I think that's one of the things I liked about it is, well, I don't know about the accents, but the tone and the cadence, it was just totally different. Because even though there's been like a million Spider-Man movies that have been created, all of them have that kind of like youthful cadence to it though, or I don't know how I don't even know exactly how to describe it, but this was totally different. Mm-hmm. It did not feel like watching a Spider-Man movie to me.
I think some people get really into, okay, this is supposed to be noir, but they didn't quite do noir right. And to me, I'm like, this is about having fun. It did have a darker tone, obviously, but I don't think the point was for it to be dark and heavy. It was dark, but it was also fun. It was almost like dark comedy.
Yeah, yep. And when I think I might have been the one with the adjective of dark. And I didn't really mean like heavy dark. It's just the videography was darker. Mm-hmm. The dialogue was more crusty. Even some of the aspects. I mean, when you think of someone who's more youthful, they just have kind of a brighter countenance about them, even when they're like angsty trying to like figure out difficult things. And when someone's been through life and been super disappointed for a long time, he's a crusty old man through most of it. And it's an interesting pairing with our traditional Spider-Man, our thoughts around Spider-Man.
And I think in a world where there are constant remakes and recycling and reboots, this was so fresh. It was still Spider-Man, but it was so fresh, and I loved it. And you've mentioned that several times.
Well, because I really didn't actually want to watch another Spider-Man. I'll be honest, when I heard that they were making another one and it was going to be a whole series, I really wasn't excited to watch it. So I was very pleasantly surprised by how different it was.
Yeah. Well, the world has noticed, and Spider-Man, or Spider Noir, has been nominated for 11 Emmys.
11?
11. It's the second most nominated Marvel thing.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, Best Title Design, Best Original Music and Lyrics, Best Cinematography,
Yes.
Best Production Design, Best Prosthetic Makeup, Best Music Composition.
I didn't know that was one. That's a whole category. That's pretty awesome.
They notice these things. Best Music Composition, Best Sound Editing, Best Sound Mixing, Best Special Visual Effects, Best Stunt Coordination, Best Stunt Performance.
Wow.
Wow. Best Shoelaces. They're just throwing Emmys out.
They're throwing them all over the place.
You know, I'd be curious to learn more about Nicolas Cage's stunt double, because he is in his 60s, so he definitely was not doing his own stunts, I would imagine. Maybe some of it, but
I would think not.
I would think not, but
Well, now I need to know.
now you should look it up really quick.
Okay, according to Google's AI overview, so take that for what it is, Nicolas Cage did some of his own stunts for the live-action Spider Noir series. Specifically for scenes where his face is unmasked.
So
He performed his own wire work. However, for complex stunts and scenes in full costume, he relied heavily on a stunt double.
So he smoked all his own cigarettes and drank all his own beer.
Is that what wire work means?
I'm just saying, when he was unmasked, he was usually doing those things.
Well, that's actually a good point, yeah.
The wire work, though, that's impressive. I think that's where they strap you to a harness and...
He noted that the intense physical wire work gave him a big adrenaline rush.
Here's some more comments from Rotten Tomatoes this time. Love the concept of choosing between color and black and white. I watched the whole season in black and white. I found it to be a tad slow at times, but did pick up the pace. Nicolas Cage did a great job playing a drunken detective and Spider-Man. I would agree that it was a very novel concept to be able to choose black and white or color.
It was actually. It was
fun.
kind of fun to be able to choose.
Yeah.
And I agree with like it being a lot slower, I agree with it being a lot slower paced. It just didn't, or maybe not even a lot, but it was a slower paced than a lot of the other Marvel movies that I've seen recently.
And that fits with the genre.
Exactly.
It made it feel more old-fashioned.
Right.
So it wasn't necessarily a bad thing, it just was a thing.
It's actually one of the things I liked about it because it is different.
Right. Agreed completely. Here's another clunker review. Solid start, weak finish. Wasted potential antagonist. Wasted potential everything. It's hard to get 20/30s right, and the cheesy modern pop remixes of oldies didn't help. But to end this with a Winehouse song, dear, utter cringe. 2.5 stars.
Whoa.
Yeah, not a fan apparently, but I liked it more than that guy.
I can understand it ended weaker. I do think it seemed to end a little it did seem to end a little on the weak side, especially when you're used to a happy ending where like the guy gets the girl, or this one kind of ended on like it ended a little flat, or kind of like a splat when
Like
Cat and Spider-Man are like insulting each other, and that's the end.
This is a good point to talk about, I think. As you're talking and I'm processing, when I should just be listening to what you're saying, but I'm processing.
Yep.
Welcome to marriage, folks. I'm thinking that's another part of this genre, I think, trying to make it old-fashioned. It doesn't have the big spectacle of like a Marvel thing.
Well, that's true.
So it was just like a slug out, but in a small confined area. So interesting artistic choices. They had the budget to go big, but they chose to constrain it to more of a, I don't know, old school type thing.
Well, good thing since they had to film it twice.
Hey, and speaking of the ending, I went through the characters. Let's just go through the characters and talk about them. Okay, spoiler alert. This has been out for a long time, so we are not holding back. But if you haven't seen it, we're going to go through the characters and talk about them. So, these characters are not in any particular order. So, Robbie, the reporter, gets his job back. So, thank you, Spider, for coming back, helping him get his job back. And actually, he was a pretty good character. He was so tenacious.
Yeah, he was. He was a good kind of sidekick with a prominent role.
Yeah. Agreed. Cat Hardy and Flynn, let's do those two together. So she shoots Silvermane. So she gets the big bad in the end and frees herself. And then Spider-Man gives Flynn the serum instead of taking it himself because he wanted to be free of his powers, but he didn't. Gave it to Flynn so Flynn and Cat could be together. And he ended up with kind of a broken heart in the end.
Again. Another broken heart. But he did end up with renewed purpose again. And maybe in a different universe. Was that foreshadowing? Of something else to come?
Yeah, it could be.
Maybe the pig Spider-Man will get Cat. Isn't there a pig Spider-Man?
Yes, there is a pig Spider-Man in Across the Spider-Verse.
Universe.
Sorry, Ben Reilly. I've only got eyes for Spider-Hog.
Yeah.
Janet Ruiz. She is Ben Reilly's secretary. She becomes, I think, part owner. Her name's on the door at the end.
Yep. I like her as a character.
Oh, yeah. So fun.
She's a great addition.
So spunky. There's a character named Lonnie. He played Tombstone. I guess that's his hero or his villain, however you want to look at him, name. That was the guy who got stabbed in the eye and got the serum injected into his eye. And then, he went kind of out of the organized crime world and was grateful to be
alive and well.
Alive and well and non-superpowered. So he just kind of like rides off into the sunset. Silvermane, our big bad, the puppet master, was shot by Cat Hardy.
Oh, it was coming.
He had it coming.
He had it coming. The person who played his character, I think, did a really good job of playing a really evil, also super scary and intimidating person who at times was like a likable salesman or a charismatic business owner or kind of like fun to banter with. And then all of a sudden it would turn and you're like, whoa, that was really intense.
I agree completely. And going back to the comment that I read about wasting the villain or wasting some of the characters, I actually like that this show wasn't afraid to kill off some characters. And like the Silvermane character, he had a long run as the villain in that city. The story was just picking up at the end of his reign, and we got to see how he finally died. But yeah, I don't know. I like that. It wasn't like one of those shows where the villain slinks off just to return again. They just kind of like go back and forth, but no one ever really. There's no closure to the story.
Right. This one, that storyline is done.
Yeah. Almost like the writers are too dear with the characters. Like, oh, we need to save it for the sequel and the sequel of the sequel, and then maybe we'll finally kill off the. In this one, they're like, nope. It's a real story. It's gritty. Someone's going down.
Actually, a lot of people went
down.
A lot
of people went down.
Some of it was pretty gritty.
I also enjoyed the character Electro.
He was smart.
Yeah, he was very smart. But he was also like kind of a lowbrow genius.
Yeah, there we go.
A street genius. Yeah, so he was a fun character. Okay, and the mayor. I had to look this one up, but the mayor gets reelected and just continues on. He gets to be the mayor again. Silvermane's out of his life. and everything was looking hunky-dory for him, even though he was a very dirty politician.
The slimy mayor continues on, so not all is great in the world.
Good thing the spider's still there to be a force of good. Maybe. All right, so in this discussion about Spider Noir, how can this discussion inspire our faith in Christ? I was thinking about this. Ben Reilly's character reminds me a little bit of Sampson from the Bible.
Because he's so strong.
Well, Sampson is a character. Okay, just stick with me. Sampson is a character. Now, if you heard the story of Sampson, like in Sunday school, you probably heard a dumbed down PG or G-rated version, but the Bible version is actually pretty gritty. So Samson's got this amazing gift from God. The Holy Spirit comes on him, and he is like...
His super strength, just
super
like
strong.
a superhero.
But Samson, in the beginning of his life, he kind of takes his gift for granted. He breaks a lot of the, Jewish laws that he was supposed to follow, like he eats honey from the lion, even though you're not supposed to touch dead bodies, and he marries a Philistine wife, even though they were like the bad guys. He's horrible towards his parents. He's just this kind of like he's this very rough guy, but he does have a gift, and his gift brings about good for the nation. But in the end, he kind of brings about his own self-destruction. Similar to Ben Reilly, he, because of his irresponsibility, the love of his life ends up dying in this accident, and he's not able to save her. And then he falls into this really bad slump, but eventually has a comeback in the show that we watched. In the Bible story, he wasn't supposed to cut his hair. That was like a sign that he was like in covenant with God almost, or there was like a sign.
Set apart for God.
That was a sign that he was set apart for God. Thank you. Samson, it says, he's actually captive, and his hair has been cut off. He's lost his strength, but the Bible says that his hair begins to grow again, and he asks God for one more chance, and God comes on him, the Spirit comes on him, and he's able to push over this big temple and destroy the Philistine leadership. And of course, he goes down with the temple and dies also. So that story doesn't perfectly align with Spider Noir, but I think there are some similarities. What do you think?
I can see it. He did actually say that the Ben Reilly character said that previously he did it for the thrill. And so, whether that was facetious and he actually was doing it to help at that point, or whether he really did just do it for the thrill, It does kind of remind me of the Sampson story, though, where taking the gift for granted, doing it for the wrong reasons, and maybe some selfish reasons as well. But then at the end, he really was a hero, and he was sacrificing his own desires multiple times for the good of others.
All right, Katie, so what's your prediction? Are they going to do a season 2?
I mean, they got nominated for 11 Emmys. It seems like they would do a season 2.
I tend to agree. I read that the budget was through the roof because of all the reshoots, but you would think they would have their ducks a little bit more together if they did a season 2, and they could do it for much, much less. And I don't.
Now they're going to have to do it both in black and white and color again.
True, but I think they can.
They could multi-film at the same time, yes.
I hope they do a season 2. Also, I would think, okay, if you overspent on season 1, what better way to recoup your money than to do a season 2 for much cheaper and, just keep the train going. Isn't that Hollywood's thing? Sequels and reboots?
It is. But maybe this whole thing has been different. So maybe they'll just be like, and that's it, folks. I mean, he is older. How? I'm just saying is all.
Next on Spider Noir, Ben Reilly goes to the chiropractor. All right, y'all. Thanks so much for listening. Katie, it was so fun having you on the show today. We'll get you on more often. If you want to support what we have going on, you can give a tax-deductible gift to the show through a link in our show notes. You can join our community on Patreon, and there are all the ways to give, of course, like I just said, in the show notes. So thank you so much. Until next time, love ya, take care, God bless, bye-bye.